everywhere. I could have ended up just like that broken road with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve. Because one street over there's a life I couldn't know would have kept me from the one I love today.
Well, good morning. Hello. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm Neutral LaVern, and yes, this is one street over. How are you doing? One street over. What's going on? One street over from where you're living right now. We need to know what's happening in our community with our neighbors and all the things. That's what we strive to do here on One Street Over on 1100 WSGI. Welcome to it this morning. We are in the second week of summer break. If you're involved with the school system, and we are loving our break. I'm a full-time school teacher at Greenbrier High School. If you're new to the program. And I'm really enjoying my summer break. It's kind of nice. But anyway, as we're getting into it this morning, we're expecting Shawn Elmore coming on in here. And she's going to join us to talk a little bit about some of the things going on at Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. We love talking to Shawn. And as far as what we're going to do this week, we've got several things going on. Tomorrow should be the day that the City of White House comes in here. We'll confirm that with Mandy and make sure everybody's coming in and try to get you a definite on that. But I believe everything's still on schedule unless maybe some of them are taking summertime off. That does happen. But we're expecting everybody from White House in here, Jerry and Mandy, tomorrow. On Wednesday, we're going to talk with one of my former students, Alex Maddox, who is working on he's doing feature video pieces on things going on around Robertson County, which is really super cool. And so that's going to be what we're going to talk about on Wednesday at 7:30. But at 7 o'clock, my friend, Justin Castillo, is coming in, and he is our media guy at Robertson County Schools, and we're going to talk about some of the things he's been working on, particularly that they are able to, they did a stream on all of the high school graduations. And so if you have not discovered that you can go and watch, if you've got somebody that graduated and you want to see that footage, they did an excellent job. And so they've got those streams that are posted to the Robertson County Schools page now. So you can go in and see those. But we're going to talk a little bit about that with Jesse on Wednesday. And also, he's going to talk a little bit about just some of the things that he is working on as far as just sharing some of the stories about some of the things that are going on in our school system. And there was one thing in particular that I wanted, when I saw the post, he actually put this up at the end of last year as we were finishing up the summer, or as we were finishing up getting ready to head into the summer. And it is a video that they did with some of my students. And so that's why I just really want him to come in and talk about that, because we've got some of us that were raised in went to school in the 60s and 70s will remember the bookmobiles. Well, there is a book bus that we have now here in Robertson County, and it goes into neighborhoods and it gives the kids a chance to come on and get some books, have some books of their own, pick out a book that they can keep. And it's just a really super cool, retrofitted bus that just it is to encourage literacy in our neighborhoods. So Jesse was looking at that space, and because of some of the things that you see on social media, he thought, wouldn't this be a cool small space to play some music? And so he asked, we had a talent show. I've talked a little bit about this talent show we did last year. Our broadcast club and our audio and video classes, we were trying to come up with something that we could do unique. And we decided to start putting together a talent show, and hadn't had one for quite some time at Greenbrier. So we did that, and I was just stunned at the talent that was on display at this talent show. Well, Jesse was as well. And so he saw these kids and he said, man, we should feature some of these kiddos in some way across our county. So a handful of the students that were involved in our talent show got together. They had some original music they wrote, and they got on the bus and performed it, and he recorded it. And he put that up, and that is available. It's been available for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to just invite y'all to go and check it out. But they're calling it the Book Bus Sessions, and we're going to be recording more of those. I've actually messaged the kiddos about it to make sure they know that this is something that we want them to continue to work on, some original music and things like that. So we're planning on, as we get back into the school year, doing some more of these, and would invite, if you know somebody in the county that has got some musical talent and wants to work on this, to see what they can put together and reach out to Jesse and maybe do something for these book bus sessions and share their music. And so nonetheless, Jesse's going to come in and we're going to talk about that. And then on Thursday, we'll have a visit from United Way. Friday, Lisa Fort will be in here for Faith Friday, but that's how the week is going to unpack. We are anticipating Shawn coming in here in just a little bit. She's running just a little bit late this morning, but I just wanted to kind of let you know where we're going this week with the show, and hope you'll be a part of it. This is, again, 1100 WSGI. To remind you of a couple of things going on. I'll tell you before I go any further, though, I want to encourage everybody to be praying for Bill Cody. He is, I honestly don't remember who had the morning show over at WSM before Bill did, but he is needing a heart and lung transplant. I had no idea that he had gotten such a diagnosis and was so ill, but he is in intensive care and has been really struggling. I shared a post that my friend, I talk about Charlie Maddows over at WSM. He and I used to work together, and I actually saw this post from him, but it was a prayer request that was put up by Bill's kiddos, and they said, be praying for our dad because he's really struggling, and just pray that he's strong enough to be on the transplant list as they go through all of this. But he is in really serious shape and needs big miracles right now, guys. So please be praying. He's Robertson County, and he lives up in the Cross Plains area. And so we just really ask that you'll spend some time praying for Bill Cody, and that he gets the big miracles that he needs as he awaits those transplants this week, and can stay strong enough while he does wait. But that's something that, again, I had realized he was not on the air. My kids, we went on a field trip to WSM. Charlie set it up for us back in the early part of this year. And I remember thinking, hoping, hope we'll get to see Bill, because I've only met him a couple of times. I met him at the event that they did in Cross Plains, where they would have the little trash and treasure thing that they didn't have it this year. But last year he was doing a live broadcast from there. And my friend Julie Bernard was getting ready to go on, and I think Barry and Rebecca Richards were on as well with him. And so I stopped by just to say hello, and just nicest guy in the world. Everything seemed fine, so I have no idea how in the world he ended up so sick. But it just reminds us that, you just never know. And so nonetheless, be praying for Bill Cody this morning as they await the transplants that he needs to keep him with us. And we just pray that will happen. But we had been in the studio with Charlie, and it was, such a cool place to go and visit and be a part of. And we do have him on our mind this morning and in our prayers this morning. As we get on into the show, though, I want to remind you, we're waiting. Shawn will be in here in just a little bit from Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. If you're not aware of what they do at Open Door, please check it out. I'm not really sure of the year they started. I remember when they started and when I first heard about it and what it morphed into from what it started when they, took on the building that they're in now and then did the renovation. Just an incredible guidance from the Holy Spirit Shawn had of this is what we need to do and how incredible the work is that they do there. But we're going to talk to her a little bit about that and their mobile vehicle that they have, that they go out and do ultrasounds and go into community. That is a thing that is so needed, these buses that go into communities, because so many people just can't get to the thing that they need. And so we're going to talk a little bit with her about that. So I want to encourage you to stick around. She'll be here as soon as she can get here. But we also want to remind you, too, that if you missed the show Friday, we had a great time with Mark was in here talking about, he is the director of the country choral that they put together for the 44th annual Sunday Morning Country. And this is a event that coincides with the music, the country music festival, the CMA Fest, I guess, or something to that degree. I forget what they call it. But the big festival that they have in Nashville is coming up. I don't know if it starts this week or if it starts next week, but the CMA Fest that is going to be going on, this is the only Christian performance that they will have, and it is a production of Music City Christian Fellowship, and it is going to be phenomenal. They've got an incredible lineup of performers, and they have got this amazing chorus that's going to be accompanying everybody, which is just the coolest thing ever. If you've ever been to a performance where you have an artist singing and you got the chorus backup, it's pretty cool. Cutter and Cash, they're going to be there. And those two young men have been in here on the show with us, and they are just so much fun to watch. Of course, John Barry. That was the big thing that we were talking about. Very excited that John Barry's going to be there. He has always been one of my favorites for sure with his rendition of Oh Holy Night. There's none any better. And so John Barry's going to be there. And again, it's just a long list of folks that are going to be at the show. If you want to know more, you can go to Opry.com events. You can go to Opry.com. And you'll see the Sunday Morning Country. Sunday Morning Country, again, this is going to be at the Grand Ole Opry House there, by the old park and Opry Mills area. And that is next Sunday at 4 p.m. The doors will open at 2:30. Because as Lee Marie was saying, these are general admission tickets. So these general admission tickets, you will have to get in there and get the best seats you can. So it's going to be first come, first serve as far as where you are seated. So get there, get your tickets. You can go again to the website, Opry.com/events, Opry.com/events, and find out a little bit more about that. You can also reach out to Mark through his messenger, and he can also help you out as far as getting tickets. That's Mark Thomas. You'll see him in my friends list. You'll see him on Lee Marie's friends list if you want to try to connect with him. But that was who we had in on Friday that talked to us all about that. So as we're anticipating Shawn coming on in here, we're going to go ahead and we'll go through some other things that we have as far as calendar events that are going on around town while we're waiting for Shawn to arrive. But we'll go ahead, too, and talk about our friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. We love them so much. They are such a big help in the community, and they're just out and about always getting things done. And if there's any kind of a community festival or something, that is, just like we're going to be having a celebration for our country on July 3rd up in Cross Plains. They will be there. If there's a place, come on in here, Shawn. If there's a place to set up tents and talk to people, Barry and Rebecca Richards, they do their best to come and be a part of that. But they are so involved in the community, and they would really love to sit down and talk to you about your needs in the real estate community, whether it be buying or selling, or if you want to be a realtor. They can help you out as well. But Barry and Rebecca Richards, they're up in Cross Plains. This is their home, and they have been here for 30 plus years, just like myself. And but they've got a diverse background. They have worked all over. They came out of different careers to do what they do. But because they're Robertson County, they specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. And if you want to get in touch with them, you can go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy BUY-RobertsonCounty.com, or you can give them a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or 7424, and always let them know you turned sent you, and Shawn will tell you the same thing, that we love Barry and Rebecca.
We love Barry and Rebecca.
Yes, we do. And they always do such a great job helping you present all that's going on at Open Door. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Summertime, huh?
Summertime.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Lots going on.
So, and Shawn has been trying to come in on the first Monday. We're gonna set that aside. And so we'll just get her when we can, rather than having this reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to just kind of set that aside. But these doors are always open.
Well, thank you so much.
Just let us know when you have something you want to share, and we'll call you from time to time and say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while. So
that sounds good. That sounds good.
Very good.
Right now, life is just what it is.
Yes, it is.
You don't really realize the ebb and flow of life sometimes, and so commitments, you want to give your best yes. So
yeah, I got you. So what do we want to talk about this morning? What's the big events going on? I'm sure y'all going to be out and about at different summer events with the bus.
Yes. Yeah. We'll have the bus at all the Friday night markets.
Okay.
I know that we've got several things planned. Backpack will be something that will be part of. We probably won't have the bus there, but lots of things. Our schedule right now, the girls are just trying to fill those spots because we have got so much going on. So we've kind of tried to dial back and give what I have considered our best yes, because sometimes it's just we can't do that. We have to obviously pay our girls to be there, and some things are just pile up.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we can do our best. But yes, we'll be at the Friday night market. We're partnering. We're going to do kind of a little mini fundraiser, but we're going to partner with Pedal 54, which is my daughter's little flower truck. And so the proceeds will go to Open Door, but that just is something I thought, there's nothing like that. And it matches our bus. And so we thought, let's do this. It'll be fun. Well, it's going to be first come, first serve on those flowers. But
okay, so tell me when and what. So Pedal 54. Explain this to me. I'm very curious.
It's Olivia and Kyle have a 54 Chevy truck, I think, GMC or Chevy truck, an older truck, and so she's been doing some pop-ups with that. And we just thought, let's bring something that's fun, and you can make your own bouquet, or you can. I think she'll have a few that are already made, but I can't remember her pricing and all that. But everything that is above and beyond goes to Open Door. So it's just a neat little thing for us to put that out there and be able to just spread some love and sunshine with some flowers. I love it. I don't know about you, but man, I love to come home and just have a little spring flower bouquet. I'm one of Miss Jenny Justice's people, and I walk in my house, I'm like, I just need to smile when I see those pretty flowers in God's creation and all the pretty, bright colors. And so just fun. Yeah. So we're going to do that this time. I don't know if we'll do that every time, but that's what we're going to do this time for a little meet and greet.
For the Friday night market.
For the Friday night market.
First Friday night market is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
I will not be able to be there. I've got another commitment, but the girls are all going to take care of that for us. Our bus is there basically to help moms that are nursing moms or moms that need to just go in and cool off with their baby. And then also we have a changing station in there. So we just started doing that because we thought that was something that was good for the community. And so they're going to put us down with the kids zone, I think, this year. So it's a good spot to have. But,
very good.
Yeah, just wanting to make sure that we can serve the community. I heard you on my way in talking about the bus, and there are some announcements that are going to be coming we've had some meetings with Cheatham County. We've been asked to come to Cheatham County. We opened in 2008, by the way.
Okay.
And probably
she was listening.
I was listening, and probably in 2009 we started asking. People started saying, "Hey, we need something like you here in our community." We've just not been able to really take on that kind of a project and bite the bullet. Plus, I guess timing's everything. God has a way to do that. But we really and truly, this summer, we have already met. And so we're looking at a fall launch. But we actually have spoke with someone that looked at us and said, you can have our parking lot. You can go anywhere. We're going to talk to our people around here, and we're going to give you space. So we're in this process of working on some space. So we're really excited leaving that meeting. I've got some calls that I've done in that area. So we will not do all of our services there. It'll be basically pop-ups or whatever.
Sure.
So it'll be a couple times a month, but we'll be there to serve moms and babies. And we'll probably do some educational pieces, things like that. But we're going to try to make sure that happens on days that we're closed at Open Door, which is Wednesday. We've toyed with the idea of opening on Wednesday, and we're still saying we need to hold that sacred. We have a lot of working parts at Open Door. Last year we had over 5,000 appointments. I think it was 51 something. I can't remember the exact number anymore, and I did not get to the office this morning like I normally do to get statistics.
Especially with what happened with the
flood.
With the flood, and that you had those kind of numbers. That's just astounding.
Well, we did some virtual with that, but not many. We had to. Those were the weeks that we closed several weeks, and I say that we didn't close several weeks. We were very limited. We had an ugly floor. We just basically got, things cleaned up and enough to serve folks. And then when we had to leave for the week, they did the floors, and then we had to move in. So we were closed for basically about 2 weeks on and off, just 2 days here, 4 days here,
Gotcha.
that kind of thing. But once we've gotten going, this year is about the same. We're trekking. We've got a lot of folks graduating. It's just really kind of, and then we had in 1 week with one person that does DCS cases, I think we had 6 or 8 referrals, plus Miss Ann, our nurse manager, does, I can't even tell you, plus our Spanish people. So our new client base has been extreme this year. So that's kind of, we look back at each other and we're like, whoa, so we are looking to expand services. We added providers for counseling this year. I think I made the announcement in March that our male counselor is coming on board, Jamie.
Yeah.
He started the 1st of May, so we've been trekking for about a month, and I think we've got we've got several referrals already to him. So we've got a lot going on. Shalane and Miss Jessica are still with us, and we're still making those referrals as much as we can. So mental health is probably one of the biggest barriers that we're seeing right now with a lot of folks. And the food, just how, the homelessness, unhoused, food. So we're seeing gas prices, we're seeing our food bill go up, and then we're seeing people that are really just struggling. So we're putting our fingers on the pulse of some housing and some food. So if anybody's out there that wants to help us with our food pantry, we have been empty since last week. I have asked multiple companies, I've asked some churches, and unfortunately no one's really responded. So, and we just don't have the budgeting to go out and just buy groceries continually. So we're sending them obviously to, up here to Cope. To Cope or United Ministries, but and just trying to help them as much as we can. But I think we ran out of food back there, and I mean we have nothing in our thing. I had gone and got a few things just to have for the weekend, but they were gone immediately. So that is just one of the biggest needs that we have right now is food, diapers, all the the things that are the staples. Yeah. And when we say food, I mean, the people just need basic things, canned goods and Papa Top things because there's a lot of homeless. We have one guy that comes and unfortunately cleans the house, so we're going to have to watch him. And I've called the police and just asked, because I know what time he comes, and just asked for the police to talk with him. We're willing to help you. We want to do that, but when you come and just kind of raid it, it's not really fair for everyone else. So,
right.
And then we have some folks that just have come in and said, you don't know what this means to us, to have just be able to come and pick up some extra things. So we have bought groceries for 3 of our moms recently because they're just struggling. It's the struggle is very real. So
you talk about the gas prices, and that's something my husband and we were talking about. We're trying to get some things done around our house, trying to finish some, and talking about who to get out there to do it. And he says we shouldn't have any. There should be a plethora of people that are available to do this work, because a lot of work's not getting done because people are not doing things because of gas prices. And I had not really thought about that home improvement things are being put off and different things such as that. I mean, we're all seeing the effects at the pump. I want to go see my nephew up in Kansas City, but I just cannot do it this year.
Right.
It's just the gas prices are too high. And
it pilfers over. It falls over into everything else. You've got groceries that are. Yeah. I mean, I went to the grocery store the other day, and I walked out of Aldi's, and I looked at my groceries, and I looked around, and my husband looked at me. I said, $180 on nothing. I mean, there really wasn't anything. It really wasn't anything that typically I can stock up and do some things, but it was just really kind of sad. Yeah. Even for vacations, people, my family laughs at me because I'm like, oh, I'm packing a box, and I bring staple stuff because I don't want to go and waste or leave things, at a condo or whatever. And I'm like, no, we're going to be good stewards of what we have. So I've gone through and making a box of food, and we're going to take it with us on vacation. That's just what we do. So, but the gas prices are definitely. Oh yeah. I think it's just a ripple effect, and then childcare. We're losing. They've got so many things going on with childcare, and just in general. I had to pick up my kiddo that grows. I mean, she's grown so much this year that I've had to basically totally flip her closet. And yesterday I was at Walmart and spent another $100-something, and I'm just thinking, you're bleeding money, and so grateful that we have it. My husband works very hard for us, and we're hardworking people, but at the same time it's just sad that we're like, oh my goodness. But the bigger part of that is knowing and seeing what I see. We talked about just different companies that can help us. So we've reached out to some of those. So we're hoping that they'll get on board and help us sustain that food pantry, and just, baby wash, baby shampoo, things like that. So if anybody's out there that can talk to their churches or their companies, that would be phenomenal.
The outstanding. And your brother and sister-in-law he's getting a knee replacement today. Hey, I just got a message from Becky, and so prayers for you big time today, John. And I know you're going to do fabulous, but that's quite the journey. My husband had to have some work done on his hip. Wasn't a replacement last week, but he had trauma from a bad hip replacement, and so our doctor had to go back in this past week and work on that. So thankful for those doctors that are so good at what they do, and you're going to do fabulous, John. So big prayers for you guys this morning as y'all.
I've already sent them text message. My husband's actually on his way. He had to take our daughter to school, or not school, Bobcat buddies. So so he's headed that way now to sit over with John and Becky, and
so you're going to do great, John. You're going to do great. But anyway, big prayers for you this morning. I know that's a nerve-wracking thing. Mark was you just get so tired of having to go through surgeries and all these kind of things. And my husband has had so much done with his hips, and so, but it went beautifully, and he's doing great. So
I think you get used to the pain, and then the pain gets so bad it's time. Yeah. My dad just had a shoulder replacement and all the things. So it's my husband and I were having that conversation today. It's heck getting old. So.
Yeah, but man, the what we have access to here, I'm getting ready. We're going to be going to Mexico for our mission trip, and it is never lost on me when I see somebody dragging legs around that can't walk, and I
Right.
know a knee or a hip replacement would make them mobile, and
Yeah.
it breaks them. Or see them with cataracts that we're putting really high prescription glasses on because there's no one to take cataracts off their eyes. And there are people that go in and do these clinics, and I didn't realize that our Dr. Hodrick is involved with a group that, and this is somebody that knows him was telling me this while we were in the waiting room. That's our joint replacement surgeon up at Southern Joint, and he's involved with a group that goes in and trains doctors in other countries to do these replacements, which is so cool. And so the miracle that we have with our medicine here is, I know a lot. Everybody's like, well, insurance is this, but we are so blessed. We are so blessed. So you're going to do great, John. We're praying for you, bud. Do what they tell you. Do your therapy. That's a big thing. But
I bet he'll start therapy immediately.
oh, they do. They get you going.
They get you going.
You get going, and for sure. But it's just like Mark said last week. He was out walking. He goes, I can't believe I'm not hurting, And I just had only pain he is having is from the surgical incision. That's it.
Wow.
He's not having any pain at all anymore. And so he's like, God. And so we're having to really make him sit still and be careful and not overdo it,
Yeah, because the pain's not there anymore to tell you.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, this goes skin. Nope. Not yet. Not yet. We'll get there again, but not yet. But I had to say hi to Becky because she's seeing us on social media this morning. But anyway, so we've got all kinds of events that you guys are going to be a part of. You had mentioned, I don't think people realize the mental health aspect of what you guys do. Recovery court, they have mental health court now, and the importance of all of those things. And are y'all going to be coming to Recovery Fest? Are you going to be able to make it? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I knew you had been there in the past, and so we appreciate you being a part of that.
I know that we'll be a part of it somehow. I don't know exactly. I've talked to Megan and see what we need to do, but we partnering with our partners in the community is so, it's such a blessing to be able to just walk out and be like, okay, how can we help you today?
Right.
Is it sponsoring something? Is it, doing hot dogs? I don't, what does that look like? But we just want to make sure that, we're available. Obviously. The chili challenge is coming up.
I was just sitting here thinking about that. It'll be here before we blink.
It really will. It'll be here quickly. We're getting all that taken care of now. Amy's on vacation, but when she gets back and she's working with Terry and Amy at Molly Be Creative, and I'll just be honest, they're great. We're going to do something kind of fun this year. I'll give kudos to Jamie Singleton. He kind of said something to Amy, and I was like, I love that idea. So we're trying to incorporate some kids stuff.
Fun.
And what we've done in the past is, when we turned 15, we had a birthday party at the Chili Challenge, and we ended up pulling in some things for kids for their birthdays, because there are children in our community that have never had a birthday party. And so we thought, well, we'll have all these birthday kits, so we made kind of birthday kits for these kiddos. So one of the things that they could do for that particular thing is each table could decorate something, and then we would keep their over, or they could supply the supplies for a child's birthday. And I'll just be honest, people love that. And we loved it, and we literally got, we thought, well, we'll have those for a couple years. No, they didn't last very long. Kids we had a little book that we put together, and people could choose a birthday party theme. We just pulled that page out and give it to them, and it was insane how quick, they kind of went. Yeah. One of my favorites, one of those birthday party themes was Buc-ee's. I thought that was so creative. Somebody did a Buc-ee's birthday theme, and I thought that was awesome.
That's crazy.
It was very cute. Yeah, very funny. Cute. So
I love it.
Lots of fun stuff. So this year we're going to try to do something similar. So we're working on those plans now. You don't get very far out of an event. We have some ladies. I met with Diana Health, and I met with some other folks from the Hope Center in Portland, the Women's Hope Center in Portland. So lots of partnerships are being made and addressed, and I just love that. I think we're going to start doing some classes at the Hope Center. I've got a girl that's going to go a couple days a month and do some parenting with those ladies there, and so just really neat, just kind of neat how God is opening doors for us. And we knew that we were going to continue to grow and level up, but we didn't realize how much. We've got some other things in the works that, we just kind of stand back in awe of what's going on around us. So really important times coming up.
You talk about some of the things that are going on. How, this is something that's developed just in the last couple of years, is the ultrasound aspect of what you're doing there. Kind of update us on that and how that is going. What can the
we're rocking and rolling the twin story, yeah.
Oh, that was incredible. And if you missed the gala, unpack that for everybody just a little bit about that. So, because there's people that are going to stumble across this that are just new to the community.
Yeah.
We've got that's one thing. I was talking with Penny Callis, because they've got the Seeds of Hope.
The Seeds of Hope, yes. And I'll be out of town when that's going.
But that's during our mission trip, and but nonetheless, we just there's going to be so many wonderful things. But she was talking about how many new people are in the area, and I think she would, when you want, like all of you that are serving the community in the way you do, you have to see it every day where new people are coming in and
don't know about you.
Yeah. And so just kind of for people who might not know what y'all do, just really unpack that and then tell us a story about the twins. Because I think people who haven't heard that need to hear it.
We opened in 2008, but we wanted to help serve mothers, babies, families. We didn't realize the need of the father aspect at the time. So education is key. So we wanted to just make sure that we had material assistance, which is very important. And then, education, and loving somebody, supporting them. You don't realize what a kind word or hug or even sometimes accountability. I've recently had a young lady that literally walked in and hated me, but now loves me to death because she said, "Miss Shawn, you're the one that told me the truth, and I didn't know if I could trust you or not." So there's a lot of trust issues with folks, and we're just very real and transparent. I'm very proud of as we worked into where we are now, it's out of necessity. So we built Open Doors programming out of necessity. We're in a rural area, obviously, and we're not in a big, city. So a lot of my counterparts that do pregnancy centers, like, Chattanooga, Clarksville, whatever, have all these resources that all they do is pick up the phone, and it's really right around town or somewhere close. There's something that they can connect with. Right. That is not the happenings here in Robertson County, and so we knew that we had to grow and start doing some things. So we started with the parenting education, the material assistance, the support for pregnancy, and then we moved into a lot bigger things like helping with the court education type stuff. Can you do parenting? Sure. So we started providing services for DCS and court ordered. We're a service provider for them. We answer to the court. We are very much, this is our program, this is how we work. So we get referrals now from all surrounding counties. The next kind of thing was the supervised visitation. When we were at the little house on Meadowbrook, before we bought South Main, we would work all day and then we would do supervised visits at night. And, in the evenings, and we would close and we'd be there until 7, 8 o'clock. Well, that doesn't do well with littles and things like that. So we knew our heart was to make a supervised visitation center. One of my clients, Heather, she just looked at me one day and she was in tears and she said, "Do you know what it's like to be able to see your kids and have unsupervised time but have to stay at McDonald's for 4 hours? Do you know what that looks like?" And she started unpacking that and telling me that, and I just was so overwhelmed that this person couldn't come in, spend time with their baby, love their child, have quality time, things like that. And we have a family that we just love seeing them come in. They have a visit, I believe it's sometime today, and we're just like, the house is yours, and we get to just supervise that. We sit off to the side. They have progressed to that point that we don't have to do therapeutic supervise, and so we're going to ask the court to reunite and move forward with that family. We've had several people do that recently. We've got a dad that got some visitation time for quite some time. We saw saw him weekly, and now he is getting his son in his home. It's just a beautiful thing to see that kind of segue. Unfortunately, there's times that we have to say, hey, this isn't healthy for the child, and we can't continue visits because of certain things. And so that supervised visit component is just a real valued service at this point. And then, we moved on to counseling because we knew the mental health, there's not enough providers, and there's not enough specialized providers. So we do not employ these folks. Our counselors are 1099 folks, so they give us a incredible discount, and literally just they have their mission right before them, and so it's in their heart. So they work well with us. A couple of things that I feel like have changed, and you've asked me about the ultrasound. So we waited for like 17 years for that. And I prayed and prayed and prayed and could not figure out. I was like, Lord, what is this? Why are we waiting? And we had some people that sowed some really deep, wonderful seeds for us. And now, they get to see that. But it was a double portion of harvested blessing is what God kept telling us it would be. We got not just one ultrasound, but we got two. So we have one for the bus, one for inside, one for ground level, brick and mortar. And then we thought, okay, how do we open this? And so we started doing ultrasounds. We were supposed to do it April 1st. And we did an ultrasound about the 29th or 30th or something like that of March of last year. Didn't see anything much, just a little tiny speck. And then the next week, we found out that Mary Beth was going to have twins. And so she actually posted something on Facebook yesterday, and I was not aware of it until a friend texted me and said, have you seen this? You really need to know that, as all that you do and all the warfare and all the hate that comes out of some folks, this is why we do this. And just making sure she felt supported and loved and made a choice for her and her sweet babies. And these are the most joyous, cutest little chunky girls you've ever seen.
They're so sweet.
They're so sweet. On her Facebook page, I just love it because I don't get to see them like I would love to see them. But I'm watching them and I'm like, wow, and so we talk back and forth or text or what have you, but just watching these two little precious souls. And I mean, they are one's just so stoic and one's full of life and smiling. And Ann went and picked up some stuff at her house the other day with her husband. And I just laughed because she said, look at this. And she had them and she's snuggling them up and they're laughing. And I'm thinking, to be able to just enjoy that. And then we've had several other stories like that. We've had some babies that have come along, and their stories are a little more complex. Sometimes you can't really share the details, but there's one little one that we're just like, okay, we're in awe of you, So it's just so cool to see that sometimes that little speck is now two beautiful babies that are bursting with life and just very, loved. And I went to Mary Beth's house one morning, and my house is chaos. I won't lie in the mornings, and we have one, and it's just us getting ready, and it's insane. And watching her balance and just, I watched Big Sister getting ready. She was grabbing something in the kitchen. One's having a bottle. She's ready to go. The other one's finishing up. They're just happy, and there was no screaming and fussing. And I just was like, wow, I know this isn't probably every day, but the picture of that, I know God gave me a glimpse of that for a reason. Mm-hmm. And so it was really just sweet watching them. And so can't wait to see what God does with them in their lives.
It's fun. And it's just a fun story of them discovering the twins with the ultrasound that y'all have, and just right out of the gate, it's just it was just that double portion. Yeah. It was that double portion confirmation, and it was just so beautiful.
The next ultrasound she did actually was twins as well. So you got to watch Ann. She's
really?
Yes. The second ultrasound was twins as well. And that was just a model ultrasound. So somebody else that came in that she was just keeping up her skills.
Yeah.
But it was twins as well.
Oh
so
my gosh.
We jokingly say it's like double upon double,
Yeah.
So
that's hysterical. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I'm a twin mom. So, my first were twins. And it's quite exciting when you're like, there's two.
There's two, not just one. One's excitement.
There's
two. That's double excitement.
And two, I tell everybody, I said, I can show you the ultrasound. I had miscarried right before I got pregnant with the twins. And so they insisted on a very early ultrasound just to see how things were going. You can clearly tell without the labels which is which, because one of my twins has a much bigger head than the other. And I'm not kidding. These are just week-old babies.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that's Caleb and that's Jeremiah at a glance because of the size of the head. And that just reinforces the miracle of creation and how you are knit together so perfectly in the womb. As I'm awaiting 2 more grandkids that are being knit together right now, one in September and one in December. I will have 7 grandkids by Christmas.
Oh my goodness. I can't imagine. My 2 are just the apples of our eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
Shuggy, when you hear that, you hear her squeal and come running at you. Yesterday we were at the church nursery door. We don't always go to church with him, but I just went yesterday, and my little grandson, he sees me and he just ignores me completely and goes, me, so he's got Mimi wrapped around her finger, and my husband, but we just, the joy that you get with those babies. So, this, and I lovingly have loved on so many children now, but you go, when you see your life and just my grandkids and know that, and then know that someone's not loving these children well. Yeah. And that's where, this little girl a couple weeks ago, I was at a supervised visit, and I said, I'll see you next time. And you said her name and whatever. And she said, well, bye, Mommy. Oh. And I actually was talking to one of the therapists I'm actually going to meet here in, I don't know, 40 minutes, 30 minutes. But she, we talked about attachment disorders and stuff. And so we have to know about a lot of that stuff. And, I told somebody one day, I said, we are not therapists, but this is what, we're working with. So we work with a lot of folks like that. But we talk about those things and, the attachment disorders and all the things that go along, the bonding of children. You can't imagine, people don't realize that is such a, I don't know. The human being is so complex,
and the desire to have that connection. It's something I see in the schools. Yeah, and kids that'll get attached to me as their teacher because they don't have that connection. Yeah, and they get super attached to their different teachers that they're close to that will talk to them. And be a safe place for them. Yeah. And it is amazing. And that's one thing, talking about our grandkids and how much we spoil them and cherish them. Every child deserves that. Absolutely. Every child deserves it. And I think that's been the thing that has just hit me between the eyes as I joke around that, having to compete for time with my grandkids. What a wonderful problem to have. Amen. What a wonderful problem to have. Because there are to know there are so many people that cherish my grandchildren. What a blessing. What a blessing. What a blessing. And when I first became a grandparent, it was kind of like a point of contention. Well, I need to see them. And it's like, no, do the best you can and be thankful that they have this gift of so many people that love them, because we see so many kids that don't. In the ministry work I've done and the mission work we do in Mexico, and the children that are just thrown away. And it breaks my heart every day. And I see it in the school system. And you can tell the kids that just have not had a connection. They've not had that deep parental love. And they've just are getting through. Yeah. And they're raising themselves, and you see it all the time. And so that's the thing, when you cherish your grandkids, it's just every child deserves that. Every single child deserves that. With that said, do you need volunteers? Do y'all still need volunteers?
We do. We just did a class. Okay. So it's a process. We just did a class. We just finished it in April, I think. So we won't have anything open until fall. But yes, volunteers are always welcome. And we have a professional model now. We do look a lot different just because of the cases and the
You have
the client base that we have, and some things
to,
that are going on in our office. So the volunteer base looks a little different, but we're always needing volunteers and partners for sure. So we would love for y'all to work with us and do that. But we do have a process to that. So if you want to call the office, it's 615-384-4673, and Miss Penny can get you a tour, and we can start that process.
Go ahead and give that number one more time.
615-384-4673.
Okay, and I just wanted to make sure and get that out, because I think there, people that might just be discovering y'all and going, well, what can I do? Help them with the pantry. Number one, just be a donor. What they can do, what nonprofits can do with your dollar is so much more than what you can do. And that's something we had to remind people when working at the Benevolence Center up in Madison. Our benevolence minister can do so much more with your dollar with the places where he can go and make purchases. And so it's, they absolutely need your contributions. Every nonprofit does, especially right now, because everything's costing so much more. Y'all have to put gas in your vehicles.
That's right.
And so that takes away from your food budget that you can buy. And then the cost of food and everything that has just gone through the roof, to help with that pantry is just something that, is so vital right now. Diapers and all those things. So follow them on social media and see because you're real good about putting up, hey, we need this. And, you could make a monthly donation. You can make a one-time donation. You don't have to wait until the chili cook-off and the gala to contribute and be a part of what they're doing at Open Door. Let me pause for a second and get this break in, because we'll be out of time in just a blink. We're just about out of time. But we need to go ahead and talk about our other full-time sponsor, Chris Armitrout and Valor Mortgage. We are so excited that they joined the program here, and it's a perfect fit for what Barry and Rebecca do, because the first thing Barry and Rebecca are going to tell you to do if you want to buy a home is you have to get pre-qualified. Well, Chris says, give us a call then, 615-671-9178, 615-671-9178, or go to valor.mortgage. Get your pre-approval today. Find out how much home you can buy, what your loan can be. Maybe you're not buying your first home. Maybe you are wanting to do some investment, and you're wanting to, if you can't, maybe pull some equity out of your home, or maybe you want to do a refinance. Whatever it is that you're looking for, they are absolutely there to help you. They've got an experienced loan team that is local, that's not going to treat you as a number. You call these 1-800 numbers, guys. You're going to get treated as a number. That's what you're going to be. And they're going to get rid of your number and sell it. And you're going to get spammed and all those things. That is not what Valor Mortgage is all about. They believe every home buyer deserves a team in their corner, and they're going to be your team, and they would love to work with you, whether it be no matter what your budget, whatever your goals are. They have got VA loans, VHA loans they work with, conventional and jumbo financing, every tool that you need to get you to the closing table. So again, call them at 615-671-9178, 615-671-9178, or go to valor.mortgage to get pre-approved today, because when it matters most, you deserve a lender you can trust. Buy with confidence, buy with Valor. Valor Mortgage, NMLS 1210804, DBA of Encore Lending Group, NMLS 1249911, equal housing lender, subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change without notice. Not a commitment to lend. Let them know U-Turn sent you. All right, Miss Elmore, we have got 5 minutes.
I love me some Chris Armitrout. I love him. I keep soliciting him to be a board member, but he's in a beautiful place in his life. But he is one of the most fabulous people on this earth.
He is a super nice guy.
I adore him. Yeah. Love
he
him.
is good, and I love it.
Honest, good guy. Yes.
When I talk about my sponsors, and everybody enforces that.
Yeah.
And it's so nice, and that just tells you that's who you need to talk to.
Yeah, Barry and I have been doing videos for quite some time.
Barry and Rebecca Richards.
And Rebecca. Yeah. Rebecca is his. I'm telling you, I laugh and I'm like, she's the real. He's the brains, but she's the heart behind it. I think I just laugh. I'm like,
so good.
Yes, both of them are phenomenal people. But Barry and I have talked about doing our video at a different time of the year this year, so we're working towards some of that. I've got to get with the producer, Miss Catherine, but he is just Barry is one of those people that You don't find him much better than that. So I just, he's just wonderful, just a wonderful guy. So
all of our sponsors, we
yes,
just got the best sponsors.
You
so
do.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you do really. Just good people, you know, and just have a heart for for community. It's not just, you know, I say not just Open Door or anything like that, but you really and truly just our community. So love what they're doing. And
absolutely
up on the square, Brandon's up there at Exit Realty. So we had our annual board meeting. We have a board meeting typically once a year that we come together, and we borrowed their space. Brandon said, "I have a space," and it was wide open, and I said, "Well, yeah, let's do that," so we could just sit around the table. And United Community Bank, we love them as well, but they provided breakfast for us.
Oh wow!
And just a blessing to be supported. And we got to sit around the table and look at each other, staff and board, and it was my staff. I think I don't even know how to explain it. The board's heart and to serve, and they're in the governance part of this, and they don't understand when I come to them and say why I need something. But then here comes the staff, and when I got to hear the heart of our girls, of our staff members talk to our board, and then they just, I mean, it was such a beautiful buy-in for all of us, just to be able to sit around the table with no distractions for 2 hours. And then we, obviously we went on and had a board meeting and things like that, but watching the interaction, and one of my teammates she was so cute, because she said, Miss Shawn, that's probably the best thing we could have ever done, because I wouldn't have known some of them. They're not in the building all the time. I mean, Miss Helen Balthrop, she's in there. People know Miss Helen, but there's a couple other men that they just don't know. And to get to hear them and how they got to Open Door, but then to get to hear each other's side of why do I serve, what's my why, is just a beautiful thing. I can come in here, I can tell you these things all day long, but when you hear them and how they've really impacted someone else out of their own mouth. And this is a staff member that's saying, this is how I've grown in my spiritual walk, in my just everyday thinking, I expanded my, horizons in this way. Right. It's beautiful. So strategic planning and sitting around and just dreaming together, I think, is a beautiful thing. So my staff recently, I know we've got 2 minutes, I've asked them what's on their dream board, and what does your position, what do you need to be successful? What do you need to grow your position? What do you need to feel supported? And one of them said, really, I feel like we're doing everything we can do. I know there's more, but right now, I feel supported. I feel like we have what we need. I mean, I had to go and buy myself a new printer the other day because my printer's been streaking out, and I've been trying not to replace that forever. But there's things like that, sometimes you need in your office wise. But then, I've had one come to me and say, how can we effectively serve these people when Tuesdays and Thursdays are so packed that we don't even have rooms? Like we're piling on each other. So we're making another room in a space. We're just going to have a new space until we can grow and find other accommodations. So it really is. Wow. Yeah. I mean, we are just wow. Yeah, we are, I don't know. I mean, we are Tuesdays. I mean, the other day we had everybody was in a lurch because we ran out of rooms, we ran out of space. We had walk-ins. And so we're actually going to change that and assign other spaces. So, that's the kind of growth that we're having, we're looking for, folks that can help us with supervised visitation. It's part-time, kind of an as-needed PRN position. We're going to be expanding on that at some point soon. We're looking for, I have a mom that's a social worker that said, hey, I want to get out. I want to do something important. I want to make a difference. And so that's how she serves. So if those folks are out there, we're going to also look at extending our nursing staff. Miss Ann and Miss Jana are at the place where we're going to have to add somebody a couple days a week. So wow. Those are some things that are coming, and we're looking. So it's important that we are continuing to stay abreast of what the community needs. And obviously our needs are growing. Our community is growing.
It's incredible. Just to see where y'all began and where you are now is just breathtaking. It is just so amazing. And I appreciate you coming in here and sharing. And rather than having just this reoccurring first Monday of the month, just as need. as need be.
Yeah.
We'll bring you in, and we'll continue to make the first Monday of the month reaching into the community. Bring some people in, bring in Casa and Isaiah House,
Absolutely.
and just
all the partners, the community partners.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly, because there's so many. Recovery courts and all that, because we haven't talked recovery court in a little bit. So just want to encourage everybody to always tune in, because this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do, is to share what's going on in our community. And we appreciate you so much and all the work you do.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
you.
We don't, we look at our budget sometimes, and we had to fill out paperwork recently, and we're like, how do we get here? How do we do this? How are we growing? Things like that. But we've watched a generous community love us well, and it empowers us to love others well. And so we're just believing that we're going to continue to do that. We don't get any grant money or federal funds. It's all donations. We had a couple private grants last year that really helped us with some mental health stuff and growth.
That's amazing.
One specific nonprofit came, or I guess, it's a nonprofit, but grant came alongside of us because we had so much expense, even outside of our deductible for our floors. I mean, we had to put the pencil to it, and there were some things that we needed to do. And so these folks came alongside of us and just was such a blessing, and helped us bear that burden. And so when we were having our accountant do some stuff for it, he's like, okay, wait, what happened to this? And so I laughed. I said, well, that was the blessing. And he goes, okay, that works. So, it's just beautiful that we can use, just use those funds beyond, and almost see the waves of blessing that comes that way. So.
Well, and you were talking about the grants. The federal grants are so different from private grants, because you've got these private foundations. I know there was one that some people we went to church with that are very wealthy, and they set up these this trust to bless programs like yours. And so that's the difference. When you heard her say she doesn't take grants and then she does, there is a very vast difference between federal grants and private grants. And that's the kind of grants that you're able to utilize, are the private grants. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Thanks.
But nonetheless, Shawn Elmore, Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Just thanking our community for all that they've poured into us. We can pour out. Absolutely. And very grateful this morning.
At the very least, she'll be back in here before the chili cook-off.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we'll be checking in, and just love you guys for being a part of all the things, and love all you guys for joining us. And yes, praying for you, John, this morning. Also praying for Bill Cody. That's where I started talking about Bill and his struggles. So just keep those people in your thoughts and prayers this morning. And thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we'll be hearing from the City of White House. Do you want to one more time give your number in case people want to reach out to you?
Sure.
Do it twice, though. Go for it.
Open Door Pregnancy and Resource Center, 615-384-4673. Once again, 615-384-4673.
Thank you, Shawn. Thank you guys for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a great day.